And today we're visiting with Dan and Hana Rass. They're musical performers, and Hana just had the opportunity to perform at the State Fair, Wisconsin State Fair down in Milwaukee a little more than a week ago, and claimed first place for the fiddle. And Hana, congratulations first off, and second off, can you just talk a little about the whole experience about going down to the State Fair and performing in front of large crowds?
Sure. It was a little nerve-wracking down there, but it was a lot of fun. Competition was very good. The crowd was very good as well.
Now you play the fiddle, I imagine they have different age groups or different categories. Can you talk a little about exactly which category you were in and how many people you actually were competing against directly or indirectly?
There was a junior category, which is, I think, 12 and under, I believe.
I think they go up to 16 or something.
Okay, 16 and under. And those were a completely different category, and I was in the open, which is any age group. So I was competing against people that were younger than me and people older than me.
Okay, with the open category. And how many people roughly were you competing against, would you say?
12, I would say 12.
I think so, something like that.
And they're from all over the state. Now, did you have to qualify through the county fair, or how did this all advance through the competition?
It's just an open contest.
It is?
Yeah.
Okay. And you had to apply well in advance, or how did the process of applying to
No, that was a day of.
Oh, the day of?
Yeah, yeah. So I had contacted them earlier in the year because I wanted information on it to get the rules and all of that type stuff. But I had actually signed up the day of. Very neat.
And as far as getting ready for it, I mean, how do you get ready for something like that when you never performed maybe in front of that large of an audience before?
A lot of practice. I probably put in three hours a day, if not more. And on top of that, I have a full-time job, so you know, I'd come home from work and go straight into practice. You know.
And I was going to say, when did you make the decision ultimately you kind of wanted to compete for this state fair down there?
Well, I did it last year.
Okay.
I did it last year, and I got second last year. So then that was kind of the push to strive for first. You know.
Very good.
So that was that. So I kind of already had a plan last year that I wanted to do it.
Now, did you have any other friends or anybody else that you know that were competing down there, or is this something that you just kind of decided last year that you wanted to get involved with?
Yeah, I just kind of decided last year. I think it was 2 years ago that we did the East Troy, Wisconsin Festival.
I think 2 years. Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah, 2 years ago, and that was kind of the first step for me. You know, I did very well in that contest, and
yeah, you won that one too, didn't you?
Yeah.
That's very cool.
So that was I guess the encouragement that I needed to continue with the contests. So.
Now, Dad, you must be very proud, I'm sure, and
oh, yeah.
Music runs deep in the family too. You guys have a band. Talk a little bit about that and the whole experience of getting Hana to perform on this.
The Fairland Bluegrass Band. It was, I guess, going back to my roots, playing songs that I had played when I was a kid and her age, you know, things that I had cut my teeth on, and we started putting it together, and as the kids, Hannah and Kaylin and our oldest daughter Erin, you know, as they progressed on instruments that they chose, you know, people ask, do you make your kids do this? No, they want to do this. You know? And sometimes they're dragging me to do it along. You know? But Hannah seems to be the one that got the most interest in it, you know, and so she just naturally kept going, and it's pretty cool to see it, you know, everything that I've done on guitar or whatever, she's far surpassed me. You know, I can't keep up with her now.
Yeah, well, Hana, and have you experienced playing the guitar as well before taking on the fiddle, or how did the evolution come to playing the fiddle?
Fiddle was first.
Okay.
Definitely first for me. It's far harder. Had to pick the hard one first. But I can play like 3 or 4 chords on the guitar, and then that's about it. And I play around on all the other instruments, but usually I'm very fiddle orientated.
Now, what was the fascination with the fiddle, or why did you choose that? Was there any reason that you
pursue
that?
I think part of it is because I'm the youngest. My 2 older sisters picked their instruments first.
Oh.
So it was kind of like my oldest sister Erin picked the mandolin, I think my Kaylin picked the banjo. So then I was kind of like, well, what am I going to play? So I chose fiddle. I always kind of liked it. So I chose the fiddle. Started with lessons for a while and that.
How old were you when you first started the fiddles?
8.
8 years old.
7 or 8.
Yeah, about 8.
Yeah. Yeah, and I took lessons for like 2 months classical, and then I quit those because I was bored. And then my dad started teaching me, and that was for up until 5 years ago. And then I actually started taking lessons from a guy out in Nashville. We do them through Skype, which is really cool. And we've been doing them that way since. So I basically had to kind of relearn how to play. I had a lot of bad habits, you know. So it's been a lot of work the last 5 years, especially. But these last few years have been like set my goals. You know, like this is what I want to do for a living, and that's definitely helped me.
Very neat. Now, one of the goals you've accomplished, winning the
Yes.
State Fair down in the Wisconsin State Fair in Milwaukee. What other goals or aspirations do you have in the future?
Well, I definitely want to tour. Eventually want to get with a touring band, whether it be country or bluegrass. That's kind of my main goal right now. I want to somehow make a living playing music. Yeah, that's what I've been like tunnel vision on for, I don't even remember how long, you know.
Well, it's kind of great, the publicity just from winning at the State Fair
Yeah.
and the connections you might make and everything inside the industry. That might just propel you to the next level
Yeah.
here very soon, so that's great. Dan, from the family standpoint, everybody must be really proud, and everybody musically inclined and love music, and I imagine music's been part of the family for a long time. And
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun when we get together and just sit at home and play. You know, pick and have fun, sing, and you know, we don't get to do it near as often as I would like, but it's a blast.
That's great. And you guys, what is the plans for the band in the future? And talk a little about if you guys have any upcoming performances or anything that you might want to share.
We don't have anything in the county at all coming up. You know, maybe something later on, but everything we do have is out of town, you know, or a private engagement. Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens. You know, if when I built the band, I didn't build it around me or any one single person. So every person in the band is just as important as everyone else. So if she gets on and gets going somewhere, takes her music someplace else, good for her. You know, and we'll just wait and see what happens.
Talk about bluegrass music too, because it's kind of made a revival too, more recently and too. And it's a music that's kind of was a forgotten art and is becoming more appreciated as a form of music now than it's ever been.
You know, I don't know how to say this politically correct, but it seems like the turn that today's country music has taken, a lot of folks who are more traditional country fans don't necessarily care for it, and they explored other avenues and found bluegrass being more of a roots style music. And we go to a lot of festivals that we do go to, and you'll have thousands of people there. They just love it, you know. And it's an older crowd, obviously, but then again, you have people like Hana, you know, picking up the baton and running with it, you know. So it's pretty neat.
Getting the younger generation involved and liking it.
Bluegrass is a very family-orientated genre. It's the only one that I know of where you can go to a festival, you can see a grandmother sitting there knitting, so sit in a chair all day and knit, listening to the music. And you can get up and you can walk over when the artists are done performing, you can walk over and shake their hand. You'll take pictures with them. You'll sign he'll stand there and sign everything until the last person leaves. You know, where country stars, that doesn't happen. You know, the show's over, they're on the bus and they're gone.
Well, yeah, it is neat that it's got the family tie-in as well as a personal connection it has with the crowd and people that listen to it all the time. Well, great. Well, is there anything else you'd like to add, and any information, any festivals people may not know that you are, even if it's outside the area where you might be performing any festivals in the near future?
We, like I said, we don't have much coming up this year.
Hmm.
You know, that,
The contests are taking a lot of the
Yeah.
time.
I was gonna say, that probably took
Yeah.
up a lot of the majority of the
Yeah.
time and the focus and everything, but.
I have another one coming up in a little under 2 weeks.
Oh, nice.
We're going to the Minnesota State Fiddle Contest at their state fair. So that one's definitely been another, like, gotta focus.
Uh-huh. Yep.
So that's, I think, mostly because of the contest, it's taken a lot of our time.
Okay. And now, with that one coming up, are you gonna pretty much stick with the same routine, the same music that you had for the Wisconsin State Fair, or are you gonna add a little bit different things
Well,
to it?
I need more songs for
Okay.
this contest, whereas the Wisconsin State Fair contest, I only had to do 2.
Okay,
This one I have to do 6.
great.
So it's a 2-day contest. So I need 6 songs for each day, or 3 songs for each day. So that's another whole, like, ballpark there. I just gotta.
Very good. Well, best of luck in the Minnesota one, and
Thank you.
Congratulations again to the Wisconsin State Fair. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
visiting us. And now, we'll have you get your equipment set up, and we'll have a little performance here, if you don't mind.
Awesome.
Thank you.